and welcome to your yoga class. This is a gentle yoga class to increase mobility. And as always, keep care of yourself, do what you need to do to be safe, and if that means you have to do something different than what I'm inviting you to do, then that's the smart thing to do. Always keeping yourself safe. So we're going to start in a standing posture, just a comfortable stance. The earth is nice and stable for you. We're going to come into gentle mountain, where we stand tall, arms relaxed. So we're not looking for this, we're just looking for this, length but relaxed, and jaws released. And we just simply breathe our normal breath and notice how the body feels. Notice whatever catches your attention about the physical sensation that you're having within, and use that as intel for the rest of your practice. And then just coming out of mountain, we're going to just have a nice standing breath where we inhale, arms up, palms reach for the sky, and then exhale, arms come down and gather into the midline. So as we inhale and lift the arms, we're gathering energy around us. And as we exhale, drawing the arms down, we bring that energy in towards us. So inhale and exhale. Go at a pace that you like. And exhale. And we'll do one more. Inhale to create expansion. And exhale to draw in. And then coming out of that. Next we're going to do a progressive breath where we just start to bring a little bit more mobility into the body. So we're going to just bend lightly into the knees as we inhale, coming up, and then take our gaze slightly up. And then exhale, bend into the knees and gaze is down. So inhale to create lift, and exhale to draw in and down. Inhale and exhale. And one more. Inhale and exhale. And then come back. So we're going to start by creating a little bit of opening in the lower back. And the lower back is tight, the upper body's tight, the legs are tight. And so this is a nice way to unravel tightness in the lower back. So we just have a nice comfortable stance. Feet are just a little bit wider than hip width apart, and our feet are going to stay planted. And we're simply going to swing the arms from side to side. Let the trunk go, let the arms go, and you're looking for this to be active. So not like this, kind of a lazy day, but you're quite active in the swinging. And then as you do this, allow yourself to sense into the lower back. We're looking for an unwinding of tension in the lower back. And we want to do this with the jaws relaxed. So the face is soft, signaling to the rest of the body that it is safe to open. And we would do this probably for about a minute. We won't in the class right now, but this is a nice thing to do every morning. I do it every morning because I do get tight in the lower back. And I found that after including this little practice daily, I do feel like the lower back is a little more supple. So unwinding the lower back to start to increase mobility in the body. And then we're just going to slowly let that come down to stillness. And then just notice how that feels. So it's nice to take a moment to sense into the feeling that you're having. And then arms are going to relax beside you. Thumbs are going to flare out, and we're going to take the thumbs back, forward and back. So we're just creating this nice rotation, starting in the hands, drawing up the arms, and ultimately creating this nice opening in the shoulders. So as much as you can, with the thumbs drawing one way and the thumbs drawing the other, with the arms relaxed beside you. And then we just take that up. So we're going to bring the arms to about here. Continue to spiral the thumbs forward and back, and forward and back. And then bring the arms up to airplane. Continue to spiral. So just creating a different vector of movement in the shoulders. You might feel the shoulders starting to get a little warm, creating a little heat. Now that the blood is flowing maybe a little bit freer. And we're going to relax that down. Oh. And then shoulders up and back. Up and back. Up and back. So we're trying to counteract the sort of rounding forward that we tend to get as we, sit over our desks, sit in soft seating, sit driving, we round forward. So shoulders up and back to create that open-hearted expression once again. So expansive for the body, and then soften. We're going to bring the arms out into airplane, and we're going to cross them in front of the body. When we open them, the palms are up. When we cross them, the palms are down. And creating a different way to move within the shoulder joints. And we make this nice and flowy. And wanting alternate arm to come over top each time we bring the arms forward and cross them. And they're going to switch this to scissoring the arms up and down. So the shoulders being one of the most mobile joints in the body, and this can create an environment for chronic issues, injuries. With so much mobility, lots can happen, but we want to keep it nice and open if we can, and a nice healthy range of motion. And then coming down. And then once again, coming into your relaxed mountain, arms just rest beside you. You have length in the body, but we're not creating tension. And just notice how the body feels now after a little bit of opening. Creating that moment of mindfulness. Yes, and then coming out of that. So, I'm going to create a little bit of lengthening on the side bodies. So we're going to bring the arms sweeping from side to side, and we're light in the feet. And so we create, it's a little bit more playful as we just start to create that lengthening along each side body. And then we're going to plant the feet and make it a little bit more lateral flexion for the spine, creating that nice mobility on the lateral plane. And then we're going to bring the palms together overhead, bring the big toe mounds together, and draw over to the right and then to the left. So just deepening that side body lengthening. As you come over with the arms to the right, make sure the left foot stays rooted. Arms come over to the left, right foot stays rooted. So really allow that lengthening to happen along the side bodies. Oh, yeah. Notice how that feels in the body. So I'm going to open now down into Middle Earth body, starting with the pelvis here. And I'm going to bring the forefingers onto the hip bones, wrap the thumbs around to the back of the glutes, and we're going to come into pelvic tilts. So we're just going to tilt the pelvis forward and back, forward and back. Just creating this nice mobility in the pelvic bowl, in the hips. So of course, when this part of the body gets tight, upper part is tight, lower part is tight as a result. So we want this nice fluidity through the pelvic bowl, through the pelvis, through the hips. And for some people, this is a little challenging. They can't really sense into a pelvic tilt, and that might mean that they're quite tight here. But that's why I bring my fingers onto the hips, just to really sense into the tilting action. I'm going to create nice big swoops. So I'm going to take my feet just a little bit wider than my hips, and I'm going to come into great big circles. And so I'm nice and gentle in the knees. I'm not extending through the knees. I'm going to keep a nice little bend. This is lovely for the hips, the knees, the ankles, the feet, and arms can be wherever it feels good to have them. Maybe somewhere to help you balance, and stop and turn then in the opposite direction, keeping the body balanced and really letting that flow, and having a sort of a nice way to lubricate these joints as we want to increase that mobility. And then coming out of that, feet are a little bit more like hip width apart, hands on knees, and use the hands to take the knees in circles toward and away from one another. So bringing a focus a little bit more into the knees and the ankles, and then those circles in the opposite direction. And coming up, and just walk that out. So next we're going to come into some marching. We're going to bring the body into a little bit more dynamic movement. And so the marching is simply like this, on the spot marching, bringing the knees up. And just do this a couple of times. Notice how this feels in the body. Maybe your marching looks like this. Doesn't matter. Excuse me, it's your practice. Keeping yourself safe. And then we're going to add the arms. We're going to slap the inside and the outside of the knees as we march. So creating a little vibration in the body, opening up energy channels, and maybe stimulating the flow of blood, the lymphatic system. And then we're going to gently tap on the tops of the thighs. I say gently. It's actually a little bit more than gently. You want to really feel this, but you don't definitely don't want to hurt yourself. And then we're going to tap underneath the thighs. Yeah. And then we're going to tap the outside of the hips. And then we're going to do each one of those one more time. Knees, tops of the thighs, backs of the thighs, and the hips. Oh. And then we're just going to shake out the legs. Yeah. This is nice little vibration. If you were building tension in the body, this little shake out is a nice way to let that tension go. We don't need to carry that through the rest of our practice. And then come into stillness. So now we're going to do a nice big full deep breath. As we inhale, we're going to bring the arms up, and we inhale through the nose. As we exhale through the mouth, we bring the arms sweeping down. And you really want to hear that on the exhale to help release toxins in the lungs. So inhale, arms up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Maybe go at your own pace. So I'm going at the pace of my breath. But you're probably a little bit different than me. And we're going to do one more. And just a nice big energizing breath and full body mobility as we do that. And so now we're going to open up the feet. So if you want good mobility in the body, you want the bottom of the feet nice and open, hydrated well, so they can support movement throughout the whole body. So this one requires a little bit of balance. If you find that you like to do this with your hand against the wall, it just feels safer, then do that, right? Looking after yourself. And so here I'm just going to bring my weight into my toe mounds and then into my heels. So I'm just kind of rocking back and forth. And the rest of my body, my trunk and my arms are where they need to be to help me keep balanced. So you're practicing the balancing while you're opening up the feet. Lots of ways to open up your feet where you don't need to practice balance, but here we're kind of doing two things at once. And so just rocking back and forth. And if you like a handhold on something, arrange yourself in your room so you can do that. And then one more. Nice. And then nice comfortable stance, and then we're going to curl the toes up. Then press the toes in. Press into the toes, lift the heels up. Heels press down, toes curl up. Toes curl down, heels come up. So just back and forth like that, creating this opening in the bottom of the feet so that all of the anatomy trains in the body, different lines of soft tissue throughout the body in different patterns can start to open when the feet are open. And one more. And there we go. So now we're going to add nice full body mobility to that opening in the feet. So we're going to inhale, arms come up, we're going to come up on the toes. Then as we exhale, we come into flat feet, bring the arms behind us, and toes curl up. So it's inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. I do this a little quicker. It's a little easier to balance. And there's my phone. We're just going to turn that off. Sorry about that. My phone going on. And then again, up, down, up, and down. And then come out of that. So a little bit of balancing, opening of the feet, full body mobility. Fantastic. So here we're going to add some more full body mobility in different directions. We're going to bring the left arm over to the right. As we do, we're going to pivot on the left foot so the hip can come with us. And we do the same thing to the left. Nice little bend in the knees through the middle. So creating this nice side body movement. And we're really reaching when we do this. So we're starting to open up the body more and more so we can go for it a little bit more. I don't know. Always looking after yourself. Maybe you're working with an injury. Maybe you have a chronic issue somewhere in the body. So of course you're always looking after that. Then the next time the left arm comes over to the right, we're going to reach to the side. And then reach to the side. And again, going for a nice big reach. Really let the side bodies find length. So you can find space in the body. And when you have length and space, you've got more mobility. And then next time, left arm comes over to the right, we're going to reach behind. And then right arm. I do this one a little bit slower because I can get a little bit dizzy. So just notice that for yourself. And always adjusting as you need to look after yourself. And then coming out. Woo. And then we're going to bounce. Bounce, bounce, bounce. So we're bouncing into our knees. We keep a nice little bend in the knees. So creating some vibration, opening up energy channels. And the feet are nicely opened. The hips are open, knees, ankles. So this should feel pretty comfortable. We're going to do a nice little spinal twist while we have this light bounce. We're going to bring the arms up in front. Inhale here. And then exhale, left arm opens to the left and our chest opens, our gaze turns behind us, and then we come back to face forward. Inhale here. And exhale, open the right arm to the right. And then come back to here and let it go. Nice big breath in. And a breath out. So, another way to bring full mobility into the body, we're going to bring the right leg forward, left leg goes back, and there's maybe a foot and a half or so distance between the feet. The back toes open up slightly, but basically both toes are pointing forward and the hips are pointing forward. And we're going to bend into the knees. And just to notice how this feels, and if you feel like you need to shift your stance. So sometimes you don't get the right stance the first time, you need to adjust. and you always adjust. Never persist in a place that's not working as optimally for you as it should. And then we just bend lightly at the hips. The trunk faces toward the floor, the gaze faces toward the floor, and we just sweep the arms up and down, up and down. Nice, big, full sweep. So upper body doing one thing, lower body doing another, and just creating this strong body and bringing in more mobility. You might feel this in the Achilles heel, in the back heel, maybe in the back calf. Just this nice lengthening as it's supporting the body in this movement, and then release from that. So you can continue to do that or deepen. And by deepening, I'm going to come up with the arms. As I come up, I'm going to lengthen through the legs. Arms come back down, I bend into the knees. So it looks like this and this and this. So finding the range of the bend in your knees that you like, just looking for that reach up and getting taller. And then the last one, and releasing. And then just walk that out. So do a little figure 8, just walking it out. Because whenever I get tense, and I'm a little tense back here as I'm lengthening, I also want to make sure that I don't hold on to that tension. So I'm just doing a nice little walk out to release that. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So this time, left leg comes forward and right leg back. Nice distance between the legs so you can bend into the knees and feel stable. Hips facing forward. And we bend slightly at the hips, heart and gaze toward the mat, and then we're just bringing the arms up and down. This nice big sweep, strong feet pressing into the floor, and maybe you feel a little bit of lengthening through the Achilles tendon and the right calf muscles. Jaws relaxed. Face soft, inviting the rest of the body to open. And one more. And come out of that. So, staying where the feet are this time, bending in, and as the arms come up, lengthening through the knees. Arms come down, bend back in. And just notice the range of motion that you like, that works for you. And as always, you can stop whenever you feel like you've had enough or the movement just isn't really working for you today. And we're going to do one more. And that's it. And then once again, just walk that out any way that you like. I try to listen to my body as well. And sometimes my body, after I've done a movement, it'll say, oh, just do a little bit of a stretch. And if I don't listen to it, I'm missing something important. So I do try and listen to my body because it's very intelligent. It oftentimes knows what I need before I do. So we're going to do a little forward fold. So feet are comfortably apart, nice stance. You're going to inhale, arms come up, palms come together. Exhale, hands to heart, bend into the knees, and then take the tailbone up to the sky. As you forward fold with the trunk and the arms and the head, and then just let the arms dangle, let the head hang heavy. Your gaze is through your shins. I like to keep a nice bend in the knees so I preserve the lower lumbar curvature. If you like extending your knees, you can. I prefer a little relaxed knee as I hang out in forward fold. And then create a little bit of length through the back of the legs. And then I'm going to bend deep into the knees, press strong feet into the mat as I power up. And hands to heart. So you're going to do that one more time. And create a little box with the arms when we're in forward fold. Here we go. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart, bend the knees, take the tailbone up to the sky and find your forward fold with your relaxed knees. I bend mine just enough so it feels supple in my lower back. Head hangs heavy And then gather alternate elbows and then just swing the trunk from side to side. Small range of motion. And one more each side. Release the elbows, bend deep into the knees, and power up through the feet. And exhale. So we're going to do a little wide-legged forward fold work to increase the mobility in the body. So we're going to take our feet a little bit wider than our hips, and our toes are going to point forward. We're going to bring the hands on the hips. I'm going to keep a soft knee all the way down. So inhale to prepare, and exhale, bend at the hips and draw the trunk forward and come all the way down. So the crown of the head is looking to face the floor. Your gaze is through your legs. Release the arms and just let yourself hang out here. I keep a little bend in my knees because it just feels good in my body. Notice how tight your hamstrings are. The more you bend your knees, the more relaxed you are in the hamstrings. The more you extend, the more the hamstrings are working. And then hanging out here, create your boxed arm, so alternate elbow grasped by each hand. And then just swing the trunk and the arms from side to side. Relax your jaws. And then release your arms, hands on your hips, bend deep into the knees, and power up. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. So now we're creating some nice mobility and lengthening in the adductors and the inner thigh, and also working the joints as always. So this time, keeping the wide-legged pose, but turning the toes out. Because this time we're going to bend into the knees, and as we do, we want the knees to track over top of the toes. And so we're just bringing ourselves over into one leg and then over into the other. A light shifting of the weight, but both feet stay flat, and then just gently bring the hands to heart center, and just allow yourself to gently draw from side to side. Notice lengthening in the legs, and always measuring how this feels in your body. Is this okay in my knees? Is it okay in my ankles? And of course, if it isn't, you stop, come out. You can be still and imagine you're doing it, and the body will open a little bit for you. So coming into stillness, release the arms. This time, we can deepen this or do just what we did. And how we deepen is we're going to bring the weight over into the left knee. And as we do, we're going to come up on the back of the right heel. Yes. And we switch the weight as we come through center. Both feet are flat. Draw the right knee over. Extend through the left leg and on the back of the left heel. And then we go from side to side. And I go a little bit slower so I'm able to practice my balancing. And I'm just going to see if I can go a little bit deeper. Always looking for a nice healthy grind where you're opening, but never pain and never anything electrical. If you feel pain or an electrical sensation, stop what you're doing, come out, because something's not right. And we're going to do one more each side. And then come flat feet. Then heel toe the feet in. And then inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. So we're going to come down onto the ground. And when I come down onto the ground and I'm on one knee, I often like to support the knee. So I'm on a carpet and on a mat, so I have enough cushioning. But if I was on a hard floor, I would need maybe a small cushion or a thin blanket underneath my knee to support it. So we're going to come down onto all fours. And then we're going to bring the right leg forward. Yeah. And we're going to curl the left toes under. So they just give you a nice little back support, so I don't feel like I'm I'm going to lose my balance going back. When I'm on the top of my foot, it can get a little sway. So I find I prefer this, but you can try it both ways and see which way you prefer. And so we're going to start with the right knee over top of the right ankle. And we're just gently drawing the weight forward and back. Small range of motion. Noticing how this feels on your left hip flexors. Yeah, really noticing how it feels everywhere, both hips, hamstrings, the knee. And so just kind of teasing the body and saying, here, we're going to just go maybe a little bit deeper. And then come back to stillness. So you can continue to do that or deepen by inhale, bringing the arms up and coming further forward with the hips and then back. Inhale, up and back. Creating a little bit more movement, looking for expanded mobility and release. So this time, if you want to deepen even further, we would inhale up. Then as we exhale, the arms come down and behind us, and we come up on the back of that front heel and gaze down. So a little bending at the hips. And as we come forward, we flatten into that front foot and bring the arms back and up as we roll over the back of that heel. So notice how the hamstrings, the muscles on the back of the right leg, the forward leg feel, and adjust however you need to feel safe. Your practice. And last one. There. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So now bringing left leg forward and pressing into the right knee, tuck the right toes under, and as you come up, just adjust so you feel stable before you start moving. So the left knee over top of the left ankle, hips face forward, and we're just going to draw the weight forward and back. Forward and back. Forward and back. There you go. Forward and back. And then we're going to bring the arms up and down. As you bring them up, we can bring the weight a little more forward if you like, or you can keep it more like here. So again, finding your own place. One more. And then if you want to deepen further, bringing the arms up. And then when they come down, they lift behind you and you roll onto the back of that front heel. And when you bring the arms forward, you flatten into that front foot and arms up. So I go a little bit slower so I can maintain my balance. So using a little bit more muscular strength so you're not, moving the body quickly. You're having to go a little bit slower and work your muscles a little bit more precisely. And last one. And then release. Hands come down onto the floor. And we're going to come into hands and knees and do a little cat-cow. So great mobility for the spine. And so hands are out in front. I like to fan the fingers, knees underneath the hips somewhere. I try not to cue too precisely because everybody has different body dimensions, but just want to feel nice and stable here. And I don't feel I have to tuck the toes under. I can come up on top of the feet. And we're going to inhale, curl our gaze forward, let the belly relax. And then exhale as you round into your cat, gazes through your thighs. Inhale to your cow. And then do that a couple of times at a pace you like. You might be going a little too slow or not matching your breath pattern. You want to try and match your natural breath between the inhale and the exhale and the cat and cow. And so doing 2 more for yourself. And then coming out of that. Nice. And we're going to come down onto the back body. We're going to come onto the forearms, elbows, under shoulders, palms open and flat to the ground. And feet are flat and a little wider than the hips. And we're going to draw the knees over to one side and then over to the other. And so we're just trying to make this nice and flowy and just letting a nice release happen in the hips. And we have an opportunity to deepen if you like. We're going to take the knees over to the left and hold. They're going to lift the left leg up. The outside of the left foot is going to rest on the outside of the right knee. And then just let the weight of your left leg draw that right hip up as the knee comes down. And if you're here and you don't like this, you just take your leg off. And so breathing into this. And then gently lift the leg back up. Again, the foot's wider than the hips, and then we swing from side to side. And of course, we're going to do the other side. Keep ourselves balanced. Knees come over to the right. Going to lift the right leg up, and it rests on the outside of the left knee. And we let the weight of the leg create a little bit more length along the outside of the left leg. Maybe feel that left hip lift up slightly. Breath, of course. And a release. And windshield wiper again. And you're going to extend the legs long. And we're going to come down and come into Shavasana. So in Shavasana, the idea here is that you try to get as comfortable as you can on the floor so that you can maintain stillness for a minute or two. Sometimes we have Shavasana a little bit longer. And so notice the back of the shoulders. You want to sense that the back of the shoulders are resting into the floor equally. So you don't kind of have one shoulder up a little higher than the other. Of course, if you have something anatomical that's causing that to be impossible, or maybe an injury, don't worry about that. But to the extent that you can, looking for the back of both shoulders to be rooted equally. The same with the back of both hips. So you're trying not to be high on one hip. You want sort of both hips to be resting in equally. The feet are a little wider than the hips, so the toes flop out to the sides. You can give the toes a little wiggle here and then let them relax. And we want the hip flexors to be completely relaxed. And then the arms somewhere beside you that feels comfortable. I prefer palms up because I feel a little bit more open through the heart center, but some people love palms down or palms on the belly. Just decide for yourself what you like. And gently turn the head from side to side. So if the neck is a little tight, you can find a little release here. And then come into stillness where it feels right. And then close the eyes if you're comfortable, or a soft gaze if that's your preference. And then allow the forehead to lengthen toward the temples and the tongue to float in the mouth as the bottom jaw gently separates from the top jaw. And we feel the back body start to get heavier. Allow the lower back to become soft and relaxed. And a sense of lift and lightness through the front plane of the body. And we're going to float along together in stillness and silence, and I will bring you back. invite you to take a nice deep breath in and a full breath out. And bring gentle movement into your fingers and your toes, and gently turn your head from side to side. And then bring one foot flat on the floor, and then the other foot flat. And then bring one knee into the heart and the other knee into the heart. As you lightly hold the knees in and gently rock from side to side. And then roll over onto whatever side you prefer as you come into the fetal position, and gently open your eyes here, and then allow yourself to come up gently and slowly, and we'll close our practice together. So coming into whatever comfortable seated position you can, and we're going to open the arms up as we inhale, and as we exhale, cross right arm over top of left. Give yourself a great big hug and allow yourself to honor yourself. Send yourself a little bit of love, and then inhale, open the arms back up again, and exhale, left arm crosses over top, and another hug just for good measure. And then we're going to bring the palms together, tuck the thumbs into the heart center, and bow gently into yourself, and bow into the love and light within you. It's always a privilege for me to teach, so thank you for that. And the light and love in me honor the light and love in you. Namaste.